Hey guys, how's it going? Man, feels really good to be home, but I had an excellent couple of weeks with family. Both my boyfriend's family was here, and then I went to go help my sister get married. Uh-oh, Cooper's hunting a squirrel, and we're back. So, I literally just got home today. We are having the most delightful weather. It is like a high of, I think, 72. Lana wants to come outside. Come on, girl. Yeah, there she is. So, I came back to the most delightful weather. But that also means we had a lot of rain, which is good. We really needed the rain. Back patio is still a little messy. This is literally the second time I've been out here. I came out here right when we came out to like survey any damage, but things are happening. The garden is blooming, and I'm going to show you the backyard today, and then we'll head over to the community plot tomorrow. So please come with me to the October garden tour. Hey y'all, so here is the herb bed. Things are happening. This is a French marigold that is struggling to stay up. Now these I thought were little zinnias, but I think, so this is definitely a little zinnia, but these are Mexican torch sunflowers, because in the spring, my Mexican torch, hi Lana, can I help you? My Mexican torch sunflowers were back here, so I think they just dropped a bunch of seeds and now they're coming back. The parsley is exploding with the cooler weather. The rosemary looks good. I do want to fill in with a couple more things. I think I lost my peppermint just with the heat and all that stuff. So things are happening. Things are looking green. And also the funny thing is, I believe these are also Mexican torch sunflowers. I think that's what is like growing in our lawn, like in patches. It looks like that got eaten, but that's definitely what that is. So I think I honestly might just let some of them grow and see what happens. So over here, this is the marigold bed, and the marigolds, I'm really trying to get them to be nice and big for Dias de los Muertos, which is coming up very soon. So I can put those out for our neighbors, and we have Phyllis marigolds and then some shorter varieties. The kale and the lettuces are starting to take off. Like, I think some of these kales might be big enough for me to actually pick from, especially down on that end. So we have the lacinato kale, the purple moon kale. These sunflowers, I had a viewer tell me that they're probably stunted because of the cool weather, and I think he's totally right. So lesson learned, fall sunflowers don't work. And then the zinnias are getting nice and large. They look very beautiful. But look at this. I definitely have some worm damage, so I probably need to come through here and spray with BT. Usually when you see stuff like this time of year, you've probably got some little green wormies that are eating your stuff. But this lacinato kale is looking fabulous. I always think of one of my best friends, Dr. Julie, when I think of lacinato kale, because this was one of the things she wanted to grow when I was helping her start her garden that I didn't have. And then the zinnias look like they're getting their first blooms, which is very exciting, because when I planted out all my zinnias, I didn't label them. And if you're new here, that's a theme in general in my life, is I don't label things and then they end up being a big fat surprise. So that's the situation we're in now, is I didn't label anything. And so we're gonna see what these zinnias become as they bloom. And so same thing in the grow bags. We have some zinnia and some lettuce. Oh, and I tucked in lettuce that yeah, I just they didn't transplant super great, but I went ahead and tucked them in anyway. So it looks like too, the dogs were dismantling our wood pile, so that's just kind of funny. More zinnias, more grow bags, and then now this bed, some interesting stuff happened. I think what I was told, we had a really gnarly storm last week while I was gone, and it actually broke some of these green bean plants because I really need to get them staked up. You don't have to stake bush beans. I just like to because it prevents stuff like this happening. It also looks like this plant was chewed down by probably a dog. And yeah, it just looks like we've got some broken plants is all. Nothing that's tragic. You can always replant beans because they're so fast. So I'll probably just re-sow some of these and kind of just start fresh. It's not all of them, and I planted plenty of beans, but it looks like we do have some little baby beans, if you can see that, where they're starting to come in slowly but surely. Got some really pretty purple blossoms. And then the pole beans, now y'all, I love growing stuff that climbs. It is like strangely so satisfying because it just grows so fast. When I left a week ago, this was like half that size. So that's very exciting. And then, oh, this is actually a great opportunity to show you this. Sometimes with stuff that climbs, you do have to kind of guide it. So without breaking it, you just kind of want to weave it through and let it grab on, because it will grab on. So I'm just going to put it in one more so I don't break it, and then just let it start climbing. And then it'll literally start climbing like this guy is, all the way up the trellis. So these are purple pole beans, so these will climb and make beans, and it looks like they've already got a couple of little blossoms here and there, and then more zinnias right here, marigolds. It looks like this is a volunteer cucumber that I think I'm just gonna let go until it decides it's gonna do something or not. Now this looks like it might be a red variety of zinnia, so we'll see what happens there. And then my Chinese cabbage is going absolutely insane. I probably need to stand some of these guys up because they're getting they're kind of getting sad looking. And I definitely need to come through and pull some weeds. But my collards are kind of settling in. These pole beans are doing awesome. This one's all the way up to here. And yeah, so beans are doing great. Beans are like one of my most favorite things to grow. I've said that 100,000,000 times. And it looks like this guy, I don't know what happened to this guy. He looks dry or broken or, interesting. But the fascinating thing is it looks like this plant is actually shooting out other tendrils. So I'm gonna have to keep my eye on that and just watch that one. Oh gosh, and what else do we have? This is my Meyer lemon, improved Meyer lemon that I got a couple weeks ago. It's putting on new growth, which is always really a good sign when you've got a new tree like this. So this one's doing really well. And then this is my key lime, which is also putting on some new growth. All this lighter green stuff is all new growth. So I'm glad those are settling in well. My Eureka pink lemon tree is looking interesting. I'm not sure if I need to stake it up or if you do that or if it's totally fine. This middle shoot, this is the second time the leaves have died off and like fallen off. So I hope, I mean, it seems like it's getting bigger. I hope I'm not doing something wrong because it looks healthy other than that middle section. So got to keep my eye on that. This is more lettuce that I need to plant. This is some spinach that with the rain and just having it in this guy, we weren't able to get this, dumped out. So I might have to direct sow my spinach, which is completely fine. And then also I planted grass seed, and I can't believe how quickly everything filled in. And then this lettuce I started planting before I left, and clearly I didn't get very far, but it's gotten rained on, so it's still alive, so I'll probably see what I can salvage out of that. It looks like there's a Japanese red mustard hiding in there. And then the grow bags, ooh, we need some pest control up in here. I don't know if this is caterpillars or I did see a grasshopper over here before I left, so we'll need to get some BT and some pest control on those. But the cabbage is looking good. The Swiss chard is looking great. Those cabbage might make a comeback. it looks like they're trying to grow new little leaves, so I'll probably just leave those be. Oh, I think we might have our first collard greens of the year this week. Oh, look at that. I think these are the Alabama blue collard greens. And they get just the perfect amount of light. So that is super duper exciting. I love collard greens. I love sauteed greens. They're so good. If you don't eat sauteed greens, grow up. I'm just kidding. They're really tasty if you cook them properly. I think a lot of people just don't know how to cook them, and that's why they end up to be bitter. But, oh no. Looks like, so I was really excited because this little blueberry wasn't doing so well, and then it grew a leaf, and I was really pumped about it, and it looks like it got chewed off by something. So that's a big bummer. I think I'm just gonna keep watering it and see if it comes back, because it already kind of came back once, so maybe it'll come back again. Okay, y'all, so that is what is happening in the backyard right now. I have not been to the community plot since way before I left. I planted all my root vegetables there, and one of my best friends was watering my plot for me, and she's been sending me pictures, and things are growing. So radishes, carrots, parsnips, all of the root veg is growing down there. So at this point, I need to start figuring out where I need to fill in the holes of the garden. So I just need to come out here with my seeds and start direct seeding some stuff, and kind of going down that road. But there's something about everything being green again. I was looking back on videos from May and June and July when my Mexican torch sunflowers were peeking over this fence. My tomatoes were 8 feet tall. I miss the garden being green. I really do. Having a green garden is just, it is fruit for my soul. So I will say, I'll insert a couple of photos. My sister got married and she was unable to find a florist because of all the rescheduled COVID weddings. And so way back in March, we concepted some really beautiful florals, though, that we incorporated dried florals as well as just florals we could get by ordering them. So we ordered some fresh florals, got them in buckets, and then on the day of the wedding, we arranged them, and they turned out so beautiful, and it was exactly what she wanted. And I thought I'd share that process with you guys. I love growing my own flowers. Flower arranging for an event is never something I've done before, but it turned out absolutely beautiful, and it was actually really fun. We were doing it in kind of a mad dash because we were doing it the day of the wedding, literally all fresh on the spot. I was doing these floral arrangements with fake eyelashes on, and we had a ton of help, don't get me wrong, but I was just really proud of how it looked. And I think because I helped concept it, and especially the fresh floral part of it, I mean, there's a drawing in one of the wedding binders that has my rough sketch of the tall vase with the willow branches and the snapdragons and everything poking out. And it was just really cool to be able to contribute in that way. I, for a long time, didn't really consider myself a very creative person, and now that I'm an adult, I'm kind of changing that perception of myself, which is pretty cool. So it was really fun to kind of enact that creativity that I didn't really think I had. So anyways, lots of exciting stuff coming up, but let's go see what the community plot looks like. Okay, hey y'all, we are at the community plot. It is very bright because it is literally the middle of the day. This was the time I had today, so here we are. Things are not going as well as I expected, so let's talk about that. This is 2 rows of radishes, and these are always doing good. Radishes are crazy easy to plant, so that's what all of these are. There's actually even a couple, I think these are French breakfast radishes, so I think that guy is actually ready. I might let them get a little bit bigger, but there are a few that are actually ready to eat, which is pretty cool. And then I have a massive grass weed issue right now, and then I'm also having a lot of volunteer zinnias popping up all over the place. So that's what all of these are, zinnias. Now this row was beets, and so some of the beets are doing well. We have some some like bull's blood beets, just some regular like red beets. And then I was supposed to have golden beets. Now, again, because I don't label anything, it makes it a little bit difficult. I believe this was my row of golden beets, and it doesn't look like, I think that's one right there. You can tell from the stem. So this is a golden beet versus this guy that has either the purpley leaves or the red leaves. So my row of golden beets looks like it didn't do as well. I considered starting these inside, but I figured I would just direct sow them. So that's a little unfortunate. There might be a couple still coming up here and there. I don't remember what I planted here. This might have been purple kohlrabi. Yeah, it looks like this was purple kohlrabi, but also like I've definitely got some zinnia volunteers happening right here, and there's just so many zinnia volunteers. This is where those really big, beautiful pink zinnias were. So that's not doing that great. Now, I don't remember what I put here, but it looks like it's coming up. So that's good. Even though I don't freaking remember what I planted. Also, there's just I just need to come in and weed. It's pretty bad actually. Just the amount of grass and stuff. So I think I'm gonna let some of the zinnias get big and we'll see what happens there. This row, I don't remember what I put. Are you sensing the theme yet that I don't mark things and then I forget where they are, because that's a theme. I don't remember what I put here. Maybe carrots? That looks like a carrot seedling. I might have, oh, I did rainbow carrots here. These are rainbow carrots. And then these are more carrots. Carrots are really slow to germinate, and I just broadcast them. Oh yeah, these are totally carrots. Okay, I did 3 rows of carrots. These are all carrots. I did 3 rows of carrots here, and I need to thin them down once they start popping up. But man, y'all, I really gotta come in here and do some weeding. A lot of this stuff, these are weeds that are growing from another plot. So I'm just going to pull those off and hope that this isn't gonna make me itchy. This is a collard green, and this is a Chinese cabbage. A lot of the other transplants did not take. So just like I was telling you guys for my garden at home, I am going to have to come through here and just grab some seeds and really just reseed, because it was really sparse. I did not spend the time and attention that I should have on this plot. But let me show you real quick. A lot of people ask me how often I water, and honestly, I just don't really have a good response for that, and let me tell you why. Because you should be watering based on your soil, not necessarily like a schedule. And I know for some people it's a little bit hard, but here's what I do. Literally come here, I move back the mulch, okay? And then I literally dig. And if you're still feeling moisture an inch down, which an inch is like the size of your knuckle right here, if you're still feeling moisture, you do not need to water. With watering, I think it's best to do it based on your soil, because as much as you're watering the plant, you're also watering the soil. So if you keep that in mind, you can really hone in on when your soil actually needs water. You can water a lot less. And in somewhere like the South that, you know, we try to really focus on water conservation, you know, using mulch and watering appropriately, really you're gonna create a stronger root system, which is gonna create a stronger plant at the end of the day. So that is why I actually dig down into my soil. I get to know my soil to make sure that it actually needs water. That's how the community plot is doing. I know this was a little bit fast and furious. Stick with me to see how the fall garden progresses. It's a little kind of all over the place because I've been so busy. But the garden always provides. Even when the garden is neglected and forgotten, the garden does continue to provide. So stay tuned, and we will actually have a really fun video next week because I am building a garden bed that I was sent in my first sponsored video. So hopefully that helps you guys find some new garden bed options. But thanks so much for watching. Happy gardening, and we'll see you next time.